Hello, this is the Thenaturalmedic. I'm at Malpais in New Mexico. I am starting the Lava Falls Trail, and this is the youngest of the volcanic exposures or volcanic eruptions here at the park, and a rare opportunity to hike onto a young lava surface. I hope you'll join me as we go through. Hoping to see some of these trees. It's a 1.1 mile round trip. It's marked by Cairns along the route. It's about 3,900 years old. And this is part of the McCarty's lava flow. And it's two different types of lava here. You got the Pahoehoe and the because of the nature of the soil, you have trees like this, which could be hundreds of years old. Even though they're very small, just they're stunted in their growth because of the harsh terrain. As always, when you hike at Malpais, it was a former bombing range for U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II. Keep in mind the 3 R's: recognize, retreat, report. This is day 2 that I'm hiking, and the type of flow here is dubbed by geologists, or maybe volcanologists, I don't know. There's really a difference between that. I guess volcanologists study volcanoes. You have what we call Hawaii flow, or Hawaii style flow, which basically flows out like a river. Now, in the wintertime, you have frozen, the rivers up north get frozen. That's similar to how this volcanic flow formed. As you can see, you have lots of sheets of this flow here, and it formed all over the land like a river of molten rock, unlike what you would think of in a typical volcano where it spews out ash and all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you approve of my content and it gets out to more people. Thank you, it helps so much. Okay, we're at stop number 2 here, and you'll notice there is not really a well-marked trail here throughout the lava field, but you have large piles of rock similar to this one that you can follow. I'm going in a counterclockwise motion because that's how the self-guided tour, which you can find on the NPS app, I'll put a link to that in the description for you. Literally right here, the ground is lava, like the game that maybe you played before called The Floor is Lava. Similar type deal. So you have a bunch of different features that can form. You have what's called squeeze-ups, which are small mounds or thin ridges where still hot lava was pushed up between the 2 pieces of already cooled lava. You have lava toes, you have ropey Pahoehoe, you have pressure ridges, you have collapse features. I think over here we definitely have a collapse feature. And this lava, very crunchy underfoot, but if you can see over there, which I think you can, it's like a collapse feature over there. Let's get a little closer to it. Take a look. Don't want to wear your Sunday best hiking shoes here. The ground texture is very rough, as I found out yesterday when I was hiking the El Calderon. So it looks like a bubble area right there. So in this particular case, you had lava bubbled up like when you're making bread, and then the gas bubbles popped, and then it caused a collapse. Let's continue on. Okay, this next stop here, looking at McCarty's crater, and it was actually prominent enough that bomber pilots could see this when they were training. The post is directly behind me, so if I'm standing in the center of the clock, the 11 o'clock position over here, you can probably see it. I'm having trouble seeing it myself. It's a vertical position according to the description they were able to do bombing runs on. I'm thinking it's between these 2 bridges right here is where it is, and they don't want you to go over there to check it out too much because there could be unexploded ordnance over there, as they bombed this area for about 10 months straight. Despite 2 projects where they removed unexploded ordnance, there's probably still some pieces out there. If you see a piece, mark the place if you can, safely exit the area, and call a park ranger. I don't know about you folks, but I'm feeling a little cracked up. A good navigation idea for moving forward is always have the next set of cairns in front of you before you move on. Not sure how deep this crack is. We can look down in here in a second. Yeah, it looks deep enough that if I stood up in it, if I could get down in there in the first place, I would probably not have my head sticking up over the top. Let's put it that way. Got a nice row of cairns here you can follow. As long as you keep those things in sight, you should be in good shape. That's a really nice one right there. Almost like an eerie silence down here. I'm in amongst all these stunted trees like this one behind me. And look out here on the landscape itself. Isn't that crazy? Just certainly not a barren wasteland, but you have all these stunted trees and not a whole lot of vegetation like you would in a normal forest. And it's like really quiet out here. Let's take a look at this little stunted forest. You've got a ponderosa here. Doesn't appear to be very big, very old. However, as they were saying in the beginning, that one may be 100 years old or hundreds of years old. And then behind it, you got another one. They're stunted in their growth because the landscape is so harsh here. So it's almost like a little pygmy forest. Isn't that crazy? Right here, you have what's called a lava fall. And just like a waterfall, just like water follows the path of least resistance, liquid rock, or magma in this case, lava, does the same thing. So you can see where the lava kind of flowed over itself, and right there, and as that underlying level of rock cooled off, it was able to flow over itself. So you have almost like a natural amphitheater here. In this area, you had, just like I explained earlier, you had gases that expanded, just like when bread bakes in the oven, and as it expanded and the loaf, so to speak, rises, forms this bowl shape, almost like a natural amphitheater. As those gas bubbles pop, then the bubble goes to the ground. About halfway through the trail at this point, this part returns back over to the parking lot. We're going to go this way, see some more things. Even though the lava rock does not provide a lot of nutrients that plants need to survive, no organic matter really whatsoever, it does provide a natural catchment area for water. You notice where most of the plants are growing, they're growing in a crack, or what was a crack, and the water collects into that area like a bowl and allows plant growth. How cool is that? Look at that cool gnarled one right in front of us. Closer up view of old Gnarls Barkley himself. Ah! Easy to get turned around following these cairns, but for the most part, you just follow them straight out. As long as you keep those in your sight, you should be fine. Take a look at this rock that I'm walking on. It's crazy. Otherworldly, rough stuff. And since I'm having a look at that, why don't we have a transition here? The blue or kind of grayish is more manganese. The reddish color, of course, is more iron, as far as the mineral composition of the magma. Life always finds a way, right? If you're looking at the surrounding terrain, you have a number of sinkholes, not lava tubes necessarily like we saw the El Calderon Trail, but you have sinkholes, and if enough water can form in, those can be places that life can develop, as it's a natural bowl for water and is able to hold its own, so to speak, in the ground. I tell you, it's an otherworldly experience to walk along this trail in this kind of alien biome, or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty crazy to think about. Wow, very large and deep crack here. I'm estimating how deep it is. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but I would say 8 to 10 feet, something like that. It's crazy. There's no clear definition for wilderness and what wilderness is. Holy crap, it's a long way down. This trail is managed as a wilderness. A large portion of the National Monument and the surrounding lands from the BLM, the National Conservation Area, are managed as wilderness. Although there's no clear definition, I'm curious to what you think. Leave your comments below about what you think a wilderness is and what it comprises, etc., etc. Thanks. Interesting side note to finish up this hike. In human years, thousands of years ago when this erupted, somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, the native tribes in the area, the Navajo, the Zuni, etc., they all have stories of a volcanic eruption in their oral histories. And they also talk about a huge monster rising up from the earth that was slain, and the monster's blood dried black. Case in point, the lava here is mostly black. So what do you think about that? Hey, I hope you enjoyed this hike today. I thought it was interesting to hike on an area that you don't normally get to hike on. You don't normally get to hike on relatively, quote-unquote, new geologic material that just came out of the earth a couple thousand years ago. As far as geologic time, that's not very long ago. Human time, yes, but humans did witness it. The native tribes that were here probably saw that, and I bet they were fascinated about seeing that. They probably didn't know what to think. What would you think if you saw a volcanic eruption in your neck of the woods, in your hometown, your area that you like to frequent? Let me know in the comments below. And would that conjure up stories of monsters or creatures, or what do you think? Interested to hear your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know that you like this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more great adventures like this. And until next time, I will see you on the trail. Bye-bye.